we're just going to start with, what do you guys want to do first? Where do you want to explore? We got some good ideas and we got some bad ideas. Right now we got buy coffee and talk to Crystal about names that have been forgotten, followed by scroll, I am nowhere, please remember me, and your relationships with people in town on the walls and panic as evidence that you exist. Yeah, sure. So how about we do this? How about you shower, and then you jump out of the shower, you go and write down, I am nowhere, please remember me. And then, generally speaking, who you are in relationship to everyone else in town. This is going to take a bit, but from there, you've decided you need some coffee, and you decide to go ahead and head on to the Starbucks, get some coffee, and talk to Crystal about the names that have been forgotten. So you head out the door, out of the motel, and towards the bridge towards town. On the way towards town, however, you notice some vomit on the bridge. This is kind of just normal as far as human everyday life goes. You check the mirror and find nothing aside from your reflection and the reflection of some vomit. Further investigation of the vomit makes it apparent that it probably, whoever ate this, ate something just horrendous. Something that shouldn't have been eaten. Just like absolute garbage was eaten in order to, yeah, no one's in the toll booth. And also what may be vanilla cake, it's hard to tell. It could be cotton candy. It could be Monster Energy drink. It could be, who knows? It's just trash. It isn't that suspicious. Putting the mirror away because you didn't find any blood. You move on to the Starbucks. Oh, okay. Well, there's no blood outside the Starbucks either. I meant to put it away, but it didn't go away, so that's cool. Taste it to figure it out. I mean, wasn't Noah eating Justin? He did that. Yeah. You head on into the Starbucks. You approach the counter. Crystal is working. She gives you the look that she always gives you. The look of someone who doesn't want to be working customer service, but inevitably has to because that's the way the world works. She's tired because it is first thing in the morning, and she's tired of your bullshit half the time. You've decided that you want to order some coffee. You guys said you want to ask, talk about, like, the people in town. Mirror Crystal? Sure. Using the mirror shows that there is a weird amount of blood just in the general vicinity of the front counter. She's giving you a weird look also in the mirror because you've just turned a complete 360 to find that there is blood on the counter. It kind of is just weird for you to just walk into a building, turn around, and look with a mirror. You show her and say, "Want to see?" There's a bit of a moment where she tries to, like, comprehend what she's looking at, but shouldn't she be able to see the reflection in the mirror if she's standing behind us? No, she's okay, so the way that these camera angles work are a little bit fucky. Basically, like, in order to use the mirror effectively, you have to do, like, a 180 and then, like, hold the mirror behind you or, in front of you, so that way you can see behind you. You attempt to show her the blood on the counter, and it's confusing to try and convey walking into a building, doing a 180 and saying, hey, check it out, there's blood. Is, she's kind of used to it from you at this point, I would assume. She says, good morning, no. Can I get you some coffee? She seems less interested in the idea that there is blood in the fact that it's not that she doesn't, it's more that she doesn't believe you or doesn't care than any of that. She remembers your name. She did take it for a bit. Respond with good morning and ask her how her boyfriend's date was and ask if anything weird happened lately. She kind of just gives you a look. You realize that this look is probably related to the fact that you walked into the building, did a 180, and then started, like, screaming about blood. And then you turned around and said, good morning. How was your date the other day? She doesn't respond anything to the first question beyond just a look. And she says, this is too early for this, no. Listen, I'm single and you know that. And it's... What are you doing? Gerald comes in every now and then, sure. You tell her to actually look at the mirror. She looks. It says, that's weird. Can we see the blood in the reflection of the glass display cases? The display cases are made out of plastic in order to prevent as much possible liability to Starbucks Inc. as possible. I believe it's an ink. She says, that's really weird. When you tell her to actually look. I don't know what that is. It's a weird mirror. What's the trick? You order a caramel latte and go, you can take my name, if you'd like. You ask Crystal if she can take your name again for a minute to ask her if she can remember anything about the things you've forgotten. Any resemblance of you making any sense anymore has, she's just kind of like, all right, I'll get your latte. And I don't want your name because I want you to leave. I already know your name now. Crystal begins to busy herself about making a caramel latte. I actually have no idea how much caramel latte at, I think I saw more mediums than smalls. So I'm going to go with the $4.55 for that. Times tax. Is there anything else you guys wanted while you were here? A bagel? Okay. Looks like that'll come out to $7.90 before tip. It's after tax. So you show her the notebook and ask if there's anything in there that she doesn't remember existing. She gives it like a very vague look over. There's a couple of different things that are in here that she just kind of gives you a side eye about. For instance, the notes about Noah, obviously being the kind of stuff that you would expect from Noah. She doesn't know who Christopher is. She doesn't know who you're talking. She is weird that you're mentioning that she has a boyfriend when she hasn't had one for a few years now. And has no idea who Elise is, obviously. That would be a really short series. She doesn't know who the Home Depot employees are or who the Home Depot guy is. And otherwise just kind of thinks you're a weirdo for, like, making a catalog of everyone in town. You tell Christopher you're sorry. Just generally speaking, sorry for every behavior you've ever had in existing with her. Is she the only employee at Starbucks? As far as you've seen, yes. While you're showing her your journal and she's making you a caramel latte, she points out that she's fairly certain that Gerald doesn't have any friends and doesn't really understand what you're talking about there. Or the god, or people going missing. She says that, yeah, she also agrees that that Mary's a little bit weird, but she's fine. You decide to tip her, which we're working out right now, and ask her why she took your name the first time you met her. I just need to get out and go to a concert, you know? I need to, you know, working here is a lot, and I just feel like I should have some time to myself, and I don't know why we can't hire anyone else. I don't know why I have to work every single day of the week. I don't know why I have to work these hours and why this store has to stay open all of the time. But it does. So you can have your caramel latte. Here it is. And your banana nut, whatever it is. She moves it on the counter. I guess I'm sorry about taking your name or whatever. It's just, you know, it's a lot working here. Sorry about that. That was uncalled for. So it looks like 20% is what you guys are currently deciding to tip. So that means that the total for your order will be $27.90. You ask her if she wants a hug. She says no. She appreciates the gesture, but doesn't seem to want to come in contact with you, which is probably fair. You guys did have your shower this morning. Yeah. She just doesn't want you to hug her because you broke her shit and left a mess. You're not grimy. You're just grimy, like, on a spiritual level in comparison. Is there anything else that you wanted to do here? If you had a crystal stat, I feel like it would improve a little bit here just for her being able to vent and you guys accepting that and not being weird about it. You are gremlin. That's the problem. Do we put on the glittery eye makeup? It was not explicitly said that you did. I think eye makeup is something you can carry with you on your person. Chat has not said where it's been put or if it's with you. So if you didn't, if you guys would like, you can put it on. I don't really know how, like, applying eye makeup works. Wouldn't have to be up. Why does it have to be up your ass? You could put it in your pockets. Pockets exist. What is wrong with you? You just kind of slap it on there with a brush. Okay. You like just dry brush it on there? Also, you guys have a backpack. So even if you are wearing girl pants, which have no pockets, you have a backpack. Anyway, go see Noah / go see Noah with a little heartsy. You go find Noah and ask him if he's okay because someone threw up the bridge, and say, have a good day, and leave. Okay, so I'm going to just say you guys, you know, pay for your thing, you leave. You head on over to the church to see if you can find any evidence of Noah. It doesn't appear that he's working today, but you remember who he is, and as far as things have been going, that's pretty good for you. You check the mirror again, but again, nothing of relevance comes up. You do not see any blood there. That really gives you any indication of any weirdness happening aside from you. That's the only weird thing in the mirror. And that's just because you're you. And after that interaction with Crystal, you realize that, you know, maybe you're just like that. The door does appear to be open, so you just go ahead and go on inside. You go inside of the church and start scanning around with the mirror. It's very quiet. The inside of a church is definitely one of those places that's sort of a liminal space. It's not like a place that you're really supposed to be after hours for the most part. The Episcopalian Church does not do confessionals or anything like that. It's not locked, though you do hear rustling about the church. What's that dash in the middle of the map? So the hash marks represent parking lots. There's one obviously in front of the Randalls and the Home Depot. Between City Hall, or I mean the police station, the bank, and the apartment, and the motel and the Ford dealership, there's a dried out riverbed, and the white lines, otherwise generally speaking, represent streets. Oh, the dot. It's the gazebo, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it's a gazebo in the park. It looks like the options are, generally speaking, investigate the rustling, say Noah, and then put $69 in the donation box with a saucy note. Not being able to find the donation box, you skip doing that, but make a mental note to go ahead and donate $69. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. The next time you can find it. You say Noah. Noah? And he approaches from one of the back rooms, answering both the question of, is Noah here? And also, what's that rustling? Oh, hello, Noah. How are you doing today? He, him. So you guys did want to ask previously whether or not he's feeling okay because of the whole thing with the vomit on the bridge, and you were concerned that it had something to do with him. So you basically just ask, hey, Noah, how you doing? That kind of thing. You ask him if he's feeling all right and all that jazz, and he says, oh, yeah, I've been here all day. I've just been working on the sermon. It's a very important sermon this week. Interfaith work is important, and I kind of realized after what you said the other day in your very nice letter, and thank you for that, that friendship really does mean quite a lot, and we need to work on being friends with people rather than pushing people out. Chad is really upset. F for friend zoned. It wasn't a confession. Please do not take it like we confessed to him. You tell him that there's something that's been worrying you, and so you've come to pray, and that you have been noticing that people have been going missing and so on and so forth, and that it's bizarre that you cannot remember the people who are missing and stuff like that, and that's been what's been bugging you. He, like everyone else that you've interacted with, doesn't quite get what you're talking about. Are you speaking about the missing people in the church? I don't really understand. I think, you know, as much as that worries me as well, I think the real thing that we need to worry about right now is taking care of each other, and, you know, what would Jesus do in our situation? I don't think that he would be as... I have to apologize to you, no. I feel like my first sermon was, that you caught here was not the kind of sermon that I would have liked to have given. Show him at least this note. You've shown him that before, but you go ahead and show him that again to try and push the point that, like, no, not that people are not showing up to church, but, like, that, you know, that kind of thing. He scans over the note. I'm going to go and scan over it again as well, just to see if there's anything. He reads over the note again, and he says, oh, this is odd. As I said before, the only Daryl I know of is the man who works at the Brandles next door. I don't know anyone named Elise. Is that why you've come to our town? You show him the pages from the notebook, excluding the one that he's on because you guys don't want to embarrass yourselves, and ask him to go ahead and sign the pages. He doesn't quite understand why, but being Noah, he just kind of rolls with it. And he goes ahead and signs off on the pages of the people that he knows. He doesn't know who Christopher is. He knows who Crystal is. He knows who Daryl is. He has no idea who Elise is. He knows who Gerald is. He doesn't know who the Home Depot being is. And that definitely, like, trips him up for a minute, but we'll come back to that in a minute. He knows of the Home Depot employees, obviously. He knows of Justin, obviously. He knows of Kevin. He knows of Mary. He knows of Michael. He knows of Morgan. Nathan. You skipped his page. The page of that has Raymond. He kind of like does like a sad smile, but continues on saying that he knows who he is. He knows who Rebecca is. He knows who Sam is. And that's so getting back to the Home Depot being, he spent a little bit of time about that, reading over it. He says, what is this? The manager at the Home Depot has magic powers. He's helping me look into the mysteries of town and why my sister disappeared. Be honest about the metaphysical nature of the Home Depot god. Tell him whatever information, you know, but just don't lie at a base level. Okay, so you explain all of that to him, and he says, I can't really understand, to be honest with you. I haven't met the manager of the Home Depot. Are you saying that he's the money doesn't need to be mentioned. It's actually not in any of those. You explain that he's got magic powers and all that. He seems to be a little bit concerned and a little bit weirded out at the concept of magic powers, but there's also a part of him that looks like he's trying to come to terms with that concept. He says, well, that's interesting. Are they helping you with finding your sister? Well, that's good. I'm sorry that I judged them so harshly prior. I think this is really what I'd like for this event this Sunday to be about. If you can, I haven't been able to meet them or the manager. Would you mind introducing them or telling them that they're invited as well? I mean, obviously it's optional, but it would be good to have a dialogue there. We can ask, but they don't have to say yes. He says, I understand, of course. It's, you know, it's an offer, and obviously you are not in control of what they can decide to do. I'm just, I realized that I overreacted to an issue that I was seeing personally, and that is not what Jesus would want of me, and I do not feel like is what I should do as a preacher. You hear a sound from behind you. The door to the church itself is opening while you guys are having this conversation, and Roger steps in. Says, good, found you. You mind if I speak to you for a minute now? Noah says, I need to get back to writing my speech anyway. You've given me a lot to think about. Noah leaves the room, going back to where he was working. Roger says, "Now you're here. You're new here in town, and well, there's been some suspicious stuff going on, and I was wondering if you wouldn't mind coming down and having a conversation with me down at the station." Do you have your Bible on hand? Yeah, usually carry your Bible on you. The only thing explicitly you do not have on you out of the stuff that we've talked about is probably some of your clothes and $198,788.92. How about we up no reputation by, like, 2? It's a little weird to have the cops show up while you're having a conversation, and the whole thing about the Home Depot God thing was also a little bit weird, but, so you say, "What is this regarding?" And he says, "Well, there's been some suspicious activity, and I just kind of want to get a statement from you, if you don't mind. It would probably be, best if we did it down at the station. I don't want to, inconvenience you, if you don't mind." The second option on the list is, put your notebook in your backpack and agree, and do not resist arrest until we are left with literally no other option, so we don't fuck ourselves over full suspicion. So you agree, you put your notebook away. He's a little bit like, he's got his hands on his hips like cops do when something's, up, but he doesn't really bother it too much. You guys wander on down to the police station with Roger in tow. He leads you inside the building to a small, cramped, dimly lit room. He says, "Now, I want to ask you real quick, if you don't mind, just letting me know what you've been doing the last couple of days. Specifically, if I ask your whereabouts on Wednesday." So you say, "Oh, I had work that day. I went to work at Home Depot. I got a job there a few days ago." He pulls out a piece of note paper and starts writing what you're saying down. He says, "All right." And obviously everyone who works there would have seen you. You're on the schedule for that day. You confirm that yes, because you do have that alibi. Now, outside of the employees that work there, does anyone else have confirmation that you worked there during this time? Were there any customers that came in? I honestly haven't been to Home Depot in a while. Is there a security camera in here? There is. I like how some people are like, "I've interacted with police officers before, please chat. This is not the right way to interact with a cop." And other people are like, I'll just say things." The truthful answer is breaking and entering, yes. I did want to point that out. So you decide not to bring out your mirror right now, because it does seem like a weird time to do it. You say, "I wasn't working on the main floor that day. I was being trained by the manager in the back. I wasn't working with customers." He says, "All right. Now, he looks over his notes and he kind of looks back to you. Now, what if I told you that I spoke to the other employees at the Home Depot, and they're not being entirely someone's not being entirely honest with me, I think. Now, I want to make sure that we're on the same page here. Just trying to figure out what's going on in this town. And this would be a lot easier if you just came clean about this. Listen, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page as well. Am I being charged with anything? Because I'm not guilty of anything aside for being in love with a handsome Wendigo. And if I am being charged with anything, I'm not talking until I see a lawyer. He uses his tongue to kind of pick out something out of his teeth, kind of giving you a side eye. He goes, well, You're not being charged with anything. Just asking questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions, right? I just want to know what's going on, and I want to know if you have any leads that you would like to bring forward to our attention. Let's be honest, no. We do know that you are guilty of trespassing, and you have been living out in the abandoned motel. Now, I'm just wondering if there's anything else. If you're not asking me out and I'm not being charged with anything, then I'm just going to go, right? He says, well, I think I'd like to at least run your license if that's all right. Now, I don't want to make this anything real official. I figure we can just, have this be a thing between two people who are concerned about this city. And we don't have to make it anything more than that. Do we have a license? I actually don't know the answer to the question. You took the bus here. He ignored the part where you said, "Are you coming on to me?" because there is no good answer here. Logically, you guys have some sort of ID. All right, so the general consensus is, yeah, that's fine. Here's my ID, and go ahead and mirror the room after he leaves. All right, I'm going to go ahead and check that out real quick. I hope you don't mind. I'll be right back. He leaves the room, and you scan the room with the mirror. Nothing seems out of place. Nothing is, bloodied or anything like that where you could notice anything. You decide to use this moment to touch up your makeup as well, so that way it looks like not a thing. You put the mirror away and wait. You sit in the room for quite a while. Stress is palpable. You guys, generally speaking in chat, seem to be stressed about this thing. Considering you guys did actually commit at least one of the two crimes that you're being accused of, or at least, he's implying that there might have been something that you're involved in. Stress is definitely happening. Your can-do attitude should probably drop as a result. You're confident in your ability to know your rights as a citizen, but also a little bit afraid. He comes back in the room. He says, I checked it out, and aside from a sketchy credit history, you don't got anything going on. Now, that does explain a few things, but I do want to ask one more question. In the morning, a couple of people saw you wandering over to the west side of town. Now, that is in the opposite direction of the Home Depot. Want to explain what you were doing at about 10 a.m. Wednesday morning? You say, we accidentally went the wrong way because, at first, because we're new in town. I get lost. I'm new. I'm kind of dumb. I'm still having trouble orienting myself in town. And you're still trying to get a bearing of where you're going in town. I ate dirt the other day. Kind of just stares at you like, alright. Now, I think it's all around town by now. And we spoke about it. But I was wondering, there was a break-in recently. I was just wondering if, you say you weren't in the area, you were getting lost, you, still trying to get your bearings, and, you also said that you, were trying to go to work during that time, and I'm just curious now if, in that time that you were getting lost, if anyone would know, could corroborate that, because I'm just curious. Because, I'll be honest with you, when I spoke to the employees of the Home Depot, they said you came straight to work first thing in the morning. I just find it a little interesting that you're telling me something different now. They said you came in promptly because you're a new hire. Or we went straight to work at the start of our shift, which was later. Crystal can corroborate that I'm stupid. You know that. I know that. Last time you saw me, you know, I had just eaten dirt, you know? And Daryl told us about his house. Alright. So you say that you, he kind of ignores everything you're saying about, like, I'm a dumbass, and kind of focuses in on other parts of it. Now, you tell me, let's go ahead and read over what you got me so far. You know, you told me that you, went straight to work. But you also told me, just prior, that you, got lost. And, I'm asking you about a break-in. I didn't mention where. Now you're telling me that Daryl told you about his house. I guess word does get around town pretty fast. Now, if I were to investigate where you've been living, would I find anything suspicious there? Would I come across anything that you aren't supposed to have? Because I don't need a warrant to check out an abandoned building. You don't own it. Now, I didn't realize you owned the abandoned building outside of town. Now, if you've got any reason to believe that I need a warrant, that'd be interesting to hear. But you don't own that place. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say that we might need to make this official. I hate to do that, but just need to cross-reference some of this information, and it's gonna involve me having to go by and check out where you've been living recently. He knows that you live in the motel because he's seen you go there several times. And in fact, your original alibi yesterday, in game time anyway, for you not having broken into the bank was that he saw you walk back to your motel room. He frequently sees you guys go across the bridge, so he knows that you live over there. What if you live in the Ford dealership? That's a good point. He knows you definitely live south of the creek. After all that, you say, squatter's rights? He says, all right. And all of this information means nothing in a court case because you didn't read me or my rights. It's true. I figure we probably ought to do that now, since it seems like you want to make this official. He then proceeds to read you your rights, and rather than our regular way that we end a session where you guys go back to your motel room, we're going to end this one where he has you detained but not arrested. Basically, for now, that is where we're going to leave it. Hey, Rev, fuck you. Fair enough. Fair enough. You need to pray? You pray to the Home Depot god to delete this cop. You're just gonna spend the night in the station. I'll see you guys later.